Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade. Today I'm going to teach you how to wrap gifts with fabric. Please like this video and follow my channel for all sorts of fun sewing projects. So the art of wrapping something with fabric is actually Japanese based. It's called, forgive my pronunciation, but it's Furoshiki. The translation is wrapping something in fabric for like a gift or goods, but kind of for transporting it. So a lot of the methods that I looked up often have like the way that it's closed and tied, it creates a handle at the top. So I don't think all of these versions that I'm going to show you today can actually be classified as furoshiki because it doesn't have a handle on the top, but these are all tied with fabric. These are all gifts. You can use whichever version you want, and actually there's like way more than what I showed you today. I just kind of did the basic and the simple ones that work well with, most of them work well with rectangles and boxes like squares. Some of them I do show a couple of when you're working with kind of odd shaped things. But if you're really interested in wrapping things with fabric, I would recommend that you look up furoshiki so that you can really delve into it and learn about it yourself. I have 6 different methods that I teach you. Each one is slightly different and works with different shaped fabric and different shaped item. So let's get started. All of the versions that I'm doing can be done with either quilting cotton, chiffon, satin, like any wovens, but it can also be done with knit fabrics like double brushed poly or cotton spandex jersey. When wrapping gifts with fabric, you have to decide if you want to use the fabric again, then you are just going to kind of leave a raw edge, which you will see in some of the versions that I wrap. If you want it to look nice and you're going to use it as wrapping over and over and over again, then you will either want to serge the edges or do a little rolled hem. So these 3 are quilting cotton. This one is like a satin. I like the back side better, so I'm going to be using this gold side. I'm not going to be finishing any of these edges because I want to use them again. This one is actually cotton spandex jersey. The cotton spandex jersey is nice because knit fabric doesn't fray, but it kind of actually rolls along the edge just after being stretched, and so it kind of rolls onto itself and you won't see the edge as much as the other ones. If you are doing a knit fabric and you want the edge to look nice, then you can do a little serged edge. The first one I'm going to show you how to wrap has 2 knots at the top. It works very well for boxes. So I'm going to be wrapping these cards. It's essentially a rectangle 3D shape. For this version, you place the box kind of like at a diagonal. This one is a square, and it does work best if you do it as a square. Then you're going to take 2 ends. It doesn't matter which side you choose first, and you are going to bring them together in the middle, and you are going to tie a knot. And this one I'm doing a double knot. Then you are going to take these 2 other sides, and before I do that, I kind of make sure that this is like, you don't want this to be open like this. You kind of want this to be folded in. And you're going to kind of bring it over like this and tie this in a knot. Now you can tie it so that the knots are kind of sitting next to each other so it looks like there's 2 knots, or you can have this one like taller and up above so it's kind of like a handle. If you want it tighter so you only really see one, you can also do that. This version has just 1 knot at the top and all of the edges are tucked in nicely inside. This works very well for boxes and rectangular shapes. To do this one, you are going to need a square of fabric, and then you place your box at an angle, you know, diagonal to the corners. So you're going to take these two sides and fold them in like this. Then you're going to kind of fold the fabric so that it's kind of folded down nicely, kind of like what we do with paper, but it just doesn't have to fold in the same way. You want this to be kind of flat in a nice corner instead of out like this, which will create kind of some bulk and some weird corners. Then you're going to take this side, make sure that these edges kind of stay, you want them to stay in, folded. Same with this side. Going to fold it in like this. And then you are going to tie a double knot. As you can see with this one, some of the fabric shows. If you don't want it to show, you can actually go like this and tuck it under, kind of underneath that bow, and then it won't show anymore. For this one, you need a big square of fabric, much larger than your box, and you're actually going to just kind of wrap it like you would if it were paper, you know, that it just folds differently. So I'm going to tuck this in here like this. Go like this. And then you want your edge to actually, you want it to line up like in the middle somewhere. You don't want it to be on the end. So adjust it slightly. So this ends up pretty close in the middle here. And then just carefully hold that in place. Then you're going to kind of tuck your fabric in as just like you're folding when you fold paper. Kind of fold the edges in. It just folds down a lot nicer with fabric than it does with paper. And then you're going to have this end here. You can actually tuck it under like this. And if you want, you can pin this in place, which we will remove later. This is to just hold the fabric in place while we tie a bow on it. So then take your ribbon or bow and think, do I want this to be the top or do I want this to be the top? And I think I'm going to have this be the top. I'm going to start like this. Come around like this. Make sure that this is in a really good spot to hold in that fabric end right there. And tie a bow. Then go back and take your pin out, and you have wrapped this gift. For this version, you're going to need a square of fabric. This works well. So start with your box standing up if it's tall, and then you are going to carefully bring up each corner. But as you're doing it, you have to pay attention to the folds of the fabric so that it ends up looking nice instead of, you know, too wrinkled. You kind of have to like tuck stuff in. And check all your sides. I can see this side needs to be pulled a little bit here. Then I pull this up straight like this. You will see the wrong side of the fabric for this one. So take some ribbon and you are going to tie this. So start with a long rectangle of fabric and 2 pieces of ribbon. So place the object down in the center of the long edges and then to the side. And then you are going to wrap it by wrapping the fabric around it, like this. Then you are going to take each ribbon and on each side you're going to tie a bow. The easiest way to wrap is if you just use the drawstring bags. You just slide stuff inside. Something like shoes. In the past I have made lined drawstring bags. I actually love these for wrapping because you do have to make them initially, you know, the work is up front, but then after that it's really easy to wrap it every time. This works really well for odd shaped things or things that are more than one and you want to put them together because it's all enclosed in one bag. And that's how you wrap gifts with fabric. It's the Furoshiki method. I can't wait to see any gifts that you wrap in fabric. Please share them with me on social media. Check out these playlists with beginner sewing projects and handmade sewing gift ideas. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day.